Pounders, we are back doing what we do best, and that is put in $5 two times into the puppy on Underdog BestBall Fantasy Football. Welcome ER7 to the live stream. Olaf Fub says he's new, so we'll get into that question real quick. Ben, what's up, my man, with the wrench? Larry two times and Hart. Thank you guys for coming out. Want to get right to a little tidbit. So we are going to be looking for a new mod. So if you guys could just send me your resume with your 40 time, your vert jump, and your 225 bench press for reps, that'll help me kind of like whittle down the field a little bit. Olaf says, new to BestBall, having a blast. It's total points, cumulative weeks 1 to 14, right? So it depends what you're doing. So the tournaments that we're playing in right now, yes. So your pods, your 12-man pods are going to be weeks 1 to 14. The top two advance to week 15. You will be just kind of re-put in with all the other teams that came in first and second, but the bye weeks don't matter at all. Bye weeks matter, right? It's cumulative scoring. You just have to take that into consideration. What's up? How are the Celtics doing? We got to check that real quick. Absolutely brutal. If they blow this, I won't be able to put on the TV or our local sports radio for weeks. It's okay. It's okay. Let's jump right into something that I want to bring up here. Not a draft. If I tricked you, I may have just faked out a couple people there. Let's kind of review where we're comfortable with stopping with two QBs. This is something we brought up in Discord. I think it's something that you should sort of already know going into these, because it's going to pretty much just keep you prepared, right? So if you don't get these two QBs, where's the threshold where you have to go 3? And for me personally, it's like Danny Dimes and Goff, or Danny Dimes and Geno. That's probably my latest two. Geno and Jared Goff, it's fringe. It's fringe. It'll probably depend who's available late in the draft. Now, when we're talking about later in the draft, there are some values. Like if Desmond Ridder can play the full season, if Sam Howell plays, even Mac Jones or like a Will Levis, depending who you think will play week 15, 16, 17 for the playoffs between these two, Baker even. So it's not bad to be picking a third QB in this range, because it's pretty gross when we get to running backs, especially when man, Chuba's already at 186. Yeah, it's pretty bare. Wide receivers, it's a little better. You can probably pick out some receivers like Cedric Tillman might be someone that's stealing catches maybe from DPJ towards the end of the season. Like that's highly possible. In tight ends, I think tight ends, it's fine if you're drafting that late. You have like Hunter Henry is one of my favorites. Jelani Woods could take a shot on Jake Ferguson. Not my favorite, but so for me personally, it is going to be stopping at that like Jared Goff, Geno, or Danny Dimes, Geno. I think that's fine. Stopping with those two middle round QBs. I'm really comfortable when I have at least one QB that has that rushing upside. I think that's important. But if you go on one of these elite QBs, I'm probably pushing it a little later to like this Stafford group, or even Kenny Pickett, assuming that his touchdown rate is a little higher this year. They do bring in the 7th lineman with Darnell Washington. Might help there in the red zone as well. And tight ends. It's another one where it's important to know, where do you think you should stop? So if this happens in a draft, you can already pre-plan that, hey, I'm going to need 3, or if I get these 2, I can stop at 2. And this is stuff that I've already have predetermined. So I used to have Pat Freiermuth in that second, like in that tight end 2 group with like a Njoku. Now they bring in Darnell Washington. I mean, Allen Robinson's probably dust at this point, but does he take away a touchdown or 2 this season from Pat Freiermuth? Maybe, along with Darnell Washington. Touchdowns are important in half-point PPR. So I like Njoku and Ingram, Njoku and Waller. I'm completely fine with stopping at 2. Waller and Schultz, Waller and Okonkwo, that is probably the furthest, I would push it before I start to go 3. So if I have like Njoku and Chiggy, I'm probably just adding a third tight end at the end. Just like we talked about, it seems like there's better values here at tight end than there is running back and QB. But again, like it looks ugly, but one of these guys is going to hit. Is it going to be, could it be James Robinson another year removed from that Achilles injury? Could it be Dwayne McBride, who I've been scooping up shares of right now? Zamir White, Eric Gray, Sean Tucker, he got a pretty good landing spot in Tampa Bay. I mean, as an undrafted free agent, so you got to take that into consideration. But I thought that was just a little interesting subject to go over before we jump in, and we're doing that now. 2 pups. Let's load them up. Of course, waiting on 10. All right, fill them up, fellas. Fill them up. Happy Mother's Day, by the way, to all the moms out there. Shout out. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, we are filling lobbies right now. Come on. Fill it up. 7 left. 6. Yes, I put myself in slow draft hell. Yes, I did. You already know. 2 spots left in that second draft. 1 spot left. Oh, we get the 2 spot. Let's go. And let's pull up the second draft here. We get the 5 spot. Feeling good right now. All right. If I don't call out your name, let me know where you're drafting from. Try again, chump. This name looks familiar. Believe he's a pounder. NU Collector in the 4 spot. Van Falcons, Ben Haskell, ER7. Both. Everyone's in this second one. So who's in the first one here? BestBall Beast. Name looks familiar. GDE, my man. Oh, Paulie's in this draft at the 9 spot. Hart, Randstand. Oh, good. So we got a good mix of people on in both rooms. Super excited about this. Yeah, Paul goes. McBride will move up 6-7 rounds if Dalvin's gone. Yeah. So again, Paul's out here being sharp as F, just kind of selecting those potential risers, which I think you have to do, especially in Best Ball Mania, where that tournament's going to take months to fill. It's not as big a deal on the puppy, but the value could be there for McBride. Not McBride, excuse me. So it is McBride, right? Dwayne? Where is he? Dwayne McBride. Spelled it wrong. There it is. 5 spot here. I like Hill to fall to me here. It doesn't happen anymore. I remember on the first big board when you could get Tyreek Hill at the 7 spot every single draft. We'll go CMC here at 5. I don't mind CMC at 4 either, ahead of Cup. But I do like Hill at 3. I do think that's smart. It's just because when you come back around to here, to 20, to 21, 22, all of these picks, you can easily go an elite running back. You can easily get like a Pollard. You can get a Derrick Henry, who was Houston 2 times in the playoffs, week 15 and week 17. You can even get Josh Jacobs, Stevenson. And then I think we can start talking about a tier fall off. But I like to get that first elite wide receiver. So I sort of do agree with this. But at the same time, if these running backs get pulled up like earlier into the second round, maybe ahead of Olave, ahead of those QBs, then we can start talking about, taking CMC a little earlier. But that's where I'm at with that. 12 follows me everywhere. Larry said he got the 7 spot in both. Ace Hold'em. Let's go. A little poker name. Love that. Mike Ray says, I got the 11 spot in 1. Not sure if I'm in both. Mike Ray at the 11. No, heart rates is at the 11 in this one. Pull up the board here. Tony Pollard at 13. I think this is interesting. Sort of dragging Pollard to the 1-2 turn here with CD. I think that's super interesting. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Garrett Wilson falls to 19. What a gift. Holy gift. Little 5-spot action there. Nice. Not bad. Talk about scooping the value there. But that's what happens when people start to reach a little bit, but I don't mind this. I think that's like that a lot. John Z said, I'm 5 in other room and got Hill. Yeah, it's beautiful. I love that. It feels like such a good start getting Hill at the 5 spot. Olave goes. We have Chase. We could shoot for the double. I don't mind just bringing in. Let's bring in Josh Allen here. Let's do something a little different. And let's see who comes back to us. Because I'm fine with either of these 3 coming back. Let's go Josh Allen. I really think these 3 QBs should be going towards the back. But I don't have enough exposure to them in the puppy, and the puppy's filling fast. So a little exposure, smooth out pick. We'll see how that team comes out, starting with an elite QB. Now, this one, I'd really appreciate if you just leave me an elite wide receiver here. Don't cause pain. Don't cause max pain on me, variant. Oh, thank you. All right, we'll go Olave. We'll bring an Olave over here. And we're back up over here. He goes up and gets Smith and TT. If T. Higgins was there, we're probably going T. This is going to be a balanced start here. All right, let me pull up. If you guys aren't already in our Discord, we have so many cheat sheets for you guys for the week 15, 16, 17 correlation. We have tweets from the best in the business. They're going through their ranking defenses and just team schedules based on strength for QB, running back, wide receiver, and tight end. So it's not just like you're getting this information like, oh, this defense is good. Well, are they good against the run? Or are they good against the pass? And how does that affect my players? So take a look at the Discord. All the information's free. And the Pounders are always willing to help, which is so nice. Chris McCaffrey, Olave start here. I just have I think this is going to be like a 2 running back start, which means we won't pick a running back until like round 10. Yeah, there's no way DK is making it to us. We could, I guess, bring in Debo for the correlation there. That could make some sense. I don't have a lot of Debo, so maybe we'll go that route. But it's 1, 2. Go Debo for the correlation. This is how it probably looks for me. And if we didn't have any correlation with Debo, he'd be back here. Derrick Henry with an absolute balling schedule for the playoffs. Houston twice is that's as good as it gets. It's as good as it gets. We'll bring in Debo. I don't think it's that crazy going Debo over DK, especially with the addition of JSN, who should eat into DK's workload. And DK's a guy who needs volume to really get those points. Whereas Tyler Lockett can, take anything to the house. But Lockett should take a small hit as well. Ben says he clicked a Monrob ahead shady connection. Probably going to be stuck on auto. Rush through my last truck to get... Buddy's on the grind at work and drafting. Double dipping, some would say. Double dipping. Max profit. Imagine that. Taking down 75K while at work. It's a good day. It's a good day. Paul got Bijan, Lamar, Amon-Ra, Christian Watson. It's looking nice. Celtics up 12. Huge. Jalen Hurts, Breece Hall, A.J. Brown, DeAndre Hopkins for Darren. Here's the Fields pick. Cleveland, Cincinnati. So Cleveland is playing the Jets. Cincinnati is playing Chicago, and Buffalo's playing New England. DJ Moore off the board. Do. What's he gonna do? CMC Olave DK start. Bringing it all the way down. He's pissing yellow. Yeah, there's no way he wasn't. We have to go Terry here. That's sort of the way I feel about it. Have to go Terry there. Washington, we could get Kittle to come back to us for a little Washington-San Fran correlation week 17. That could be the tiebreaker to help us make that next pick. Variant going no receivers through the first 3 rounds, but going elite QB, tight end, and elite running back. He goes Harris. I'm completely fine with bringing in Christian Watson. They're playing Minnesota. New Orleans is playing Tampa Bay, and San Fran is playing Washington. Yeah, let's bring in the guy. He goes Kittle. I think that's super random. I'll happily just bring in Kenneth Walker at pick 50 here. I think that's the play. Seattle's playing who week 17? They're playing Pittsburgh. They play Tennessee. They play Philly. He fell to 50. We'll grab Walker. We don't have a ton of Walker. Been waiting for him to really level off. And that's about where I've seen him go. 46 to 50, 50, 51. I've seen a few people select Aaron Jones over him. I don't know if I would do that, but we'll see. I think Seattle wants to go more run heavy, which might be another scare factor for some of these Seattle pass catchers. Pounders. Any day drafting's a good day. Ron Navy, welcome to the live stream. Terry goes here at 49. 3 strong receivers. Balance build here. Try again, chump. Goes Dalvin. 16 picks early. He knows something. Or nothing. Let's see what happens here with this pick. So we're picking at 71 here. We need a piss yellow at 71. That's for sure. Kirk off the board. We're just Chicago's playing who? I think we got correlation here. Chicago plays Atlanta. Figure it out. We get 11 picks of value on DJ Moore. And I mean, I think there's a tier fall off. Going to Allen and JSN. Variant still doesn't have any receivers. Definitely was wishing that DJ Moore, 11 picks of value would have fell to him, but we don't let that happen. See, I'm fine with going CMC and then pissing yellow, coming like really, and then we'll sort of figure it out at tight end if we can maybe get two middle round tight ends to stop at 2 or 2 middle round QBs to stop at 2 QBs. But I don't like doing 3 and 3. Like, I haven't liked those teams because those are the rounds where, I mean, you kind of want to fill up on running back here. I think there's a tier fall off. I mean, after Damian Harris, really, I think it's. Then after Chiggy at tight end, gets a little less pleasing. Doing any crazy stuff? First glance, I don't see much. How about this room? Fields and Lamar Jackson for Ben. Going for regular season points in the puppy. Doesn't exist. Jalen fell to 24 here. Love that. Love that. Super strong at running back. I like the IU pick here about year 7. Lockett goes at 62. Coming back around. Larry says week 17 Dolphins Ravens. Ben wants to know if anyone's doing the NBA playoffs. True sickos. Kyle Pitts off the board. And, man, let's go Treylon Burks here. It's looking more and more like DeAndre Hopkins might be staying in Arizona. We'll just grab the wide receiver 1 in Tennessee. We're up in 3 picks over here as well. San Fran, Washington. Dotson's way down. We might get him at 77, but that might be a reach. I don't want to reach too far for these week 17 stacks. I still am picking the best available and just who I think is either a value or a riser. We see running back. Cooks over Marquise Brown. Is that crazy? It doesn't seem crazy to me with the unknown with Kyler Murray. We have Josh Allen, though. We have to go Gabe. This is a Gabe pick. Easy. That's where 2 tables can kind of throw you off. So we got Josh Allen, Nick Chubb, Kenneth Walker, Chase McLaurin, Burks, and Gabe Davis. And we're on the clock over here. And this is most likely going to be Mike Evans is fine. We'll bring in Mike Evans. We're up in 8 picks. All right, so we caught up at wide receiver over here. We need to – I would like to probably get Waller on this team or maybe Rachaad White now that we bring in some Tampa Bay correlation. Love this. You should go in our Discord and drop it in the draft rankings channel and let the Pounders have at it. And how early did you draft that team, Ron? Up in 3 picks. We see Lawrence actually start to fall here. We see Madison go at 73, which it's aggressive. If we got the news that Cook moved on, would Madison go before Cam Akers? Maybe, yeah. We'll have to take another look at that. Well, I'm definitely putting him ahead of this crew. I'm putting him ahead of David Montgomery. James Conner seems to be a pretty good value right now, but that could change if they bring in like a Lenny. So Waller goes. We'll go Rachaad White for the Tampa Bay correlation here. I think that makes a lot of sense. And Tampa Bay is playing New Orleans. So we got the Chris Olave action as well. Love that. Love that. Yeah. This is This is very true from Paul. It says the thing with BBM4, we have no idea what will be unique once August rolls around. There are big shifts every year between May and August. So many injuries. And really, I'm only drafting BBMs right now when I get news that will give me any sort of advantage or edge, whether that means to not draft a guy and let someone else pick the chalk. Maybe someone got hurt, or do we reevaluate where someone's going? Like if Dalvin Cook gets cut, where do we put Madison, right? And if we put him, he was drafted, was it this on 73? No, it was the other board at pick 73, like 20 picks before ADP. Pick a spot where you think he would go, right? You get that news that Cook's cut. If you think he goes at 73 at an average ADP, you don't want to pick him at that exact spot because there goes the value. There's no value in doing that. If you can get him at 80, now you get a half round of value, right? So that's where I'm sort of at with that. Takes a little bit of projections. We're not interested in a QB here. I don't mind bringing in Njoku. Not really interested in these running backs. We already have the Seattle running back. I'm fine with going to Njoku here and letting BestBall kind of do his thing. I think we go Bateman here. Baltimore has Miami, San Fran, and Jacksonville. So I don't have any correlation there, but and we get the double with Cleveland, which is always nice. Yeah, let's go Bateman. Dude can take a slant to the house. I think it's a little crazy that we're drafting Flowers ahead of Bateman. Like, I get it for upside and all that, but if Flowers is stuck in the slot with Mark Andrews, I don't think he's going to have as good of a year as people are thinking in a run-first offense. I just think it's a little – he's just going early. So, basically, give me the guy that goes later. Because at one point, it was Zay Flowers, and that's when I was like, all right, I'll take Zay Flowers at 105 or whatever it was. But now it's like, just give me the guy that goes later between those two. Not Odell. Curious how many of you guys are drafting Odell and like feeling good about it. Just never, even with like the correlation, I can't really justify myself to do it. So, man, if Dotson falls here to us, we'd be very happy just for the correlation with San Fran. Variant needs a receiver bad. If we get Jahan Dotson here, this would be our 6th receiver. It'd be a 7 wide receiver build. So when this happens, yeah, he's gone. We can still bring in Zay here, but I don't know if I love that. I'm just going to go up and get Danny Dimes here. Russian QB, we don't need any correlation with them. He also has New Orleans week 1 of those playoffs. He has Philly week 2. We don't have any Philly correlation. That's fine. The way to think about it, at least what I'm doing, is for these playoffs, like week 15, week 16, there's 16-man pods, right? Or one's a 16 and one's an 18 or whatever it is, but you still want to focus on week 17. That's where it's a 400 or let's pull it up. It's been a minute since I've checked the puppy. It's a 115 person group. So they're round 2, week 15 is an 18 person group. Week 16 is an 18 person group. And it's top 2 move on for week 15 to week 16. And then week 16 to get into week 17, it's 1 out of 18. But still, you're shooting for that last 115 person group to coming first. So that is going to be the week with the most importance. It's really the only week we're worried about. I thought it was in the 400s too. That's Best Ball Mania though. Puppy's going to be a 115 person final group, which means $300 minimum. We did come in 117th in the Puppy 4 last year, where first place was 200K. That had a lot more. It's like 223,000. I'm going to bring in Njoku here. I think this is just sort of bring in the best available. Who's going to help this team the most? I believe that's Njoku. I also have a tier break off after Njoku as well, so he's just so clickable for me. Dude, Kincaid's so expensive, man. I'm just give me Knox, pretty much. Give me the guy that goes at like 170, who should still have a red zone role. This is, they'd have to literally use him as a receiver to be worth this. With that being said, give me a friggin' running back in this range. Let's go Khalil. I'm a little afraid about this backfield here between Rashawn Johnson and Khalil Herbert. Definitely am. Khalil Herbert could definitely be a faller, in my opinion. But he should still have a role in third down. We just have so much Rashawn Johnson. I think I have to at least sprinkle in some Khalil Herbert, who does have big play potential. I like the Elijah Mitchell pick. I do like the Elijah Mitchell pick. We're really doing it, huh? This just seems... Is everyone else feel this way? Is Dalton Kincaid too expensive? He seems too expensive. Sticking to my guns. No, I'm not. I'm going Mingo. Give me Mingo. I think we're done at receiver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, we'll add one more receiver on this team. We'll add one more receiver. Mingo got the draft capital. First receiver off the board, day 2s. I mean, it's one of the most important things for these rookie receivers is their draft capital, in my opinion. Let the professional teams sort of tell you what they think about them. They're typically going to be smarter than any Twitter analyst. And he could still rise from this spot. Rice went at 114 here. I didn't see that. Rice usually goes at 128. He could rise as well. We have a good amount of Rice early. And this contest is how Phil? It's 86% full. Oh my God. You guys are sickos. You guys are sickos. Has anyone... I saw Davis Peng. He maxed this tournament. Has anyone else maxed this yet? I have not gotten that many. If you guys haven't already, go down and drop a like on the live stream. Help me beat the YouTube algorithm. Drop a comment if you're watching this afterwards, and I'll help you beat your Best Ball Mania or Puppy pods. It's a fair deal. It's a good deal. Schultz off the board here. Let's see who Variant leaves us with. He still has 3 receivers, so most likely paying the rake. All right. We're going to risk it. Let's go Pittsburgh here. Pittsburgh has Seattle, week 17. New England's playing Buffalo. Miami is playing Baltimore, I believe. Let's go Freiermuth. 7 picks after. Kind of shore up our tight end room as well. We have a lot of running backs that I want in this range, but we can push it off, I think, in between here. I'd be happy with a lot of these guys. So we'll see who comes back to us. We shall see. Paul says he's at 120 pops. Sean Z's at 33. I think we're going to end off at like 75. Geoff's at 80 or so. This is going to be the sharpest, in my opinion, the sharpest group, just because it's the D-gens I've been watching this whole time. The D-gens. And then we're just waiting for the casuals to come back. We saw the casuals enter when that Best Ball Mania draft opened, and people were like, I'm not drafting because it's negative EV. It's like, all right, this guy just selected Tom Brady with the first overall pick. I'm going to throw some drafts in. And that's when the ADPs are still fresh with the NFL draft just dropping. So that was fun. That was fun. We did about 10 or 15 in that range. And now we're up to 20. Basically just drafting off news at this point. So I'm glad these other tournaments are dropping. We are in a Dalmatian. We got pick 10 overall, and we started with CeeDee Lamb and Amon-Ra for that little week 17 correlation, which is nice. Definitely a game that could blow up. This range sucks, and I have to make a pick quick because we're on the clock. This has to be a running back. Jamal Williams, I don't love him, but falling this far, we'll take him. And this is the range we wanted, a running back. We already have CMC. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to go CMC and Elijah Mitchell. Because can one go off one week and one the next? Maybe. We'll see. Elijah Mitchell did play a lot after the game was out of hand, so it's tough to tell how they'll use him, and he was returning from an injury. So bringing our third RB here, still super strong at receiver. I think we're pretty good at tight end. We'll probably bring in like a last round tight end over here. Ugh, it gets ugly at RB. That's why we had to go Jamal Williams, especially just getting him, 17 picks after ADP. I'm fine with that. Tight ends, kind of gross. I don't love Dobbs. Go KJ Osborne. I don't have a ton of KJ. I think Addison has a big part in reducing KJ's role, but big play potential. I just don't think he's going to be on the field as much this season. Really spreading the exposures here. Really spreading them. No, it's good. Think about Pat Kerrane, right? Last year only drafted Tyquan Thornton one time and it was on his winning lineup. So it only takes one to be right. Kev Wheeler goes, degenerates are also trapped in the echo chamber. Yeah. And it's saying draft more receivers. Tyler is out here, probably still on the beach in Florida. Says smash the like pounders. Yeah, please do go down there and slap that button for us. Just got here. How's the squad? We are doing 2 at the same time. Here we have Danny Dimes, CMC, Rashad White, Khalil Herbert. So kind of like a hero running back build. Olave, Debo, Christian Watson, DJ Moore, Mike Evans, Njoku, and Pat Freiermuth. So very balanced build. In my opinion, this is going to be a 3 QB build. We'll have to see who we can bring in. New Orleans. We could bring in Love. Baker? Question mark? Baker? With 2 Tampa Bay players? Is it Purdy? Is it Trey Lance? So we do have some late options that we can go, which is nice. Even we got a little Pittsburgh correlation here with Freiermuth. And I do think Pickett is a really good value this year. I'm more excited about him in cash games because I don't like, what is Pickett's single game ceiling? Can he hit 27 points? I think that's high, right? I think that's high. So I have him in like the 24, 25 range, which is good. I think he's a really good value. in Ritter. This one it's a big question mark. It's a big question mark. Look where his whole offense is going. Bijan in the first round, Pitts, Drake London, and you have Ritter going here at 202. People are still not trusting him. That's what the market's saying. At least in my eyes. I love this range of receivers. Could go Hyatt here for the correlation. Mostly a go route guy. I'm really not picking Hyatt here unless I have the correlation. We'll see if someone else falls back to us that we like. This is going to be a 7 receiver team too, and this team will be definitely done at receiver. This one has 7. Chase McLaurin, Burks, Gabe Davis, Rashad Bateman, Mingo, KJ Osborne. Could we stop at 7? We'll see. This is going to be a 2 QB team, so it gives us an extra roster spot at the end. Njoku, it's probably got to be 3 tight ends at this point. Definitely. Look at the Kyler slide. Look at Knox does get selected at 165. That would have been, that's sort of who we were going for at 167 here. We pushed it. I think you had to, though. I think we bring in Tank here. Yeah, let's go Tank. And let's see what this guy wants to do. Kyler sliding on both boards. Kyler sliding on both boards here. Goes Trey Lance and Mims. Yeah, let's just do it. We're done at receiver. We went 8. I think we can because we're only going 2 QBs, and our running back room is relatively good. We'll stop at 6. 3 tight ends. So we need 2 tight ends, and I mean, honestly, is this a 1 QB build? We'll see who's left. This could be a 1 QB team. I've been willing to do that more with these QBs being so expensive in the second round. I think we have to go Gallup here because we're done at receiver after this pick. I'm much more comfortable with the draft capital we spent here at receiver, stopping at 7 versus the other room. It's a little later, the draft capital, so it's not as expensive. So I think we had to go 8 here. We have a double anchor running back build as well. Could we stop here at 5? I wouldn't hate it if we did. You only have to start 2. So, Love Stars, welcome to the live stream. Eric B. Lance is ass. That is one nice piece of ace. Pickett is a perfect second QB this year. If you have any of the top 5 QBs, yeah, I agree. I do like him as that second QB for sure. When you pair it with the elite guy, because then you're pairing like high ceiling with high floor. And I'm at least projecting Pickett to have a higher touchdown rate than he did last year, which was almost embarrassing. But they add A-Rob, maybe Dust, but should give him a red zone target. And they add Darnell Washington. Daryl, welcome to the live stream. Have you done the Dalmatian yet? Yeah, I'm so disappointed that you couldn't fast draft the Dalmatian. So disappointed, but we got pick 10 and we started with Lamb and Amon-Ra, and we're waiting for that to come back around. But that is a Dallas-Detroit Week 17 game. That Veronica Vaughn. Yeah. Awesome. Who would eat 52 kids' schoolboy lunches? If you draft Lance, you're hoping for a trade. Maybe. We'll see. That's going to be the most fun really fun team to follow. Like, how's Purdy's arm? How's his elbow? UCL injuries, pretty serious. So we'll see how he's recovering. He wasn't supposed to throw a ball for 3 months, so we'll see how the zip is. We see Paul bring in Tyquan Thornton. Definitely one of my favorite late round guys at receiver. Four picks and 3 picks. Let's see, who do we want over here? It's so tough because I can't save my picks on either board too, because there's so many people in the live stream in this draft. So we're done at receiver here. We might have to stop here at 2 tight ends. We're gonna have to see how our running back room looks and how our QBs look here. Of course, we're on the clock at the same time. Give it to us. Give it to us. Give it to us. Probably done at running back over here. Could go Zach Evans as well. I hate how they show it has a write-up, but there's nothing there. Come back over here. Juwan Johnson. We need running back. I don't love it. I don't hate it, though. Hardman. I think that's a good pick in this range, too. Very clickable. McBride. Gonzo. This is the side we need another tight end, right? Yeah. Gesicki and Hurst. Do we have Mingo on this team? We do have Mingo on this team, so I'm more apt to bring in Hayden Hurst here, where I'm typically not clicking Hurst. Definitely need 3 tight ends. So this is going to be a 1 QB build. Just Josh Allen. I think that's completely fine. If we had a piece of the Rams, I would go Stafford here and I would stop with these 5 running backs, but we didn't. Like, we did have Van Jeffy, so I guess we could have done that. Could have went Stafford there, but I don't think it's too big a deal. When we come to week 15, week 16, week 17, I think Josh Allen has to be the guy anyways. Kev says UCL is serious for a pitcher, not horrible for other athletes. I mean, it's still a throwing motion. So we'll see. We'll see. The reports are positive, but do we want to draft Purdy right now with the unknown? Like, where's he go? Purdy's in like 196. So sure, you can throw a couple Purdy's out there, I suppose. We're probably going to do it in this draft because we have double San Fran. We've done it. Oh, man, now that we get Dante Foreman falling this far, do we pair him with Khalil Herbert? I just feel like that's gross. I feel like that's gross in my opinion. We're done at running back. We need 2 QBs. There goes Van Jeffy. I think I'm going to go Lance. You know what? We'll go Pickett here. Let's go Pickett. We have a little correlation here with Freiermuth, and then we can go a late Purdy perhaps with our next pick. You can play off either narrative as well with those 2 QBs. A lot of people are just avoiding them, which I've sort of been doing myself, but I don't mind mixing in 4% Lance. I don't mind mixing in 4 or 5% Purdy as well, because no one truly knows right now. So that is one of the disadvantages to drafting in May. And the way you avoid dead lineups is just kind of avoiding them. Now, can one of them be a riser? Yes, but only one of them, right? Unless Lance does get traded in some crazy deal and then Purdy's, the presumed number 1 over there. That would be a win-win. Then they would probably both be risers. So do you want to draft none of them? It's tough. Where's your risk tolerance and how many drafts are you doing? Right? That's also important. Where we're not going to max this one, but we have, we're going to finish off around 80 drafts. Our risk tolerance is a little higher than other people's, and that's fine. So it does allow us to do different shit. So we're going to go Gesicki here for the Buffalo Week 17 New England correlation. I have no Gesicki, and he'll be our third tight end. I don't draft a lot of Hayden Hurst either, so why not just bring in two people for a little exposure, smooth out, and it's 23 picks after ADP. I think that makes a lot of sense. Ooh, we got to hit 20 likes. We got 35 people in the live stream. Drop a like if you haven't already. And smash the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications so you can jump in these drafts when we go live. It's the best way to get in. The little boop. Little bell. So Danny Dimes, I'm not too worried about just having one of his pass catchers. I think that's fine with the Russian quarterback. You're basically hoping him to spread the ball and then get a ton of points on the ground, which I think he's going to do this year with the amount of receivers they signed in the offseason. Just everyone. Anyone that was available, they will take. It's basically what happened. They even bring in Bryce Ford-Wheaton, undrafted free agent. See if he can work out a role there. Purdy goes at 187. He's got to be in the live stream, right? When your receiver room's complete dust, you can't even bring in a second QB, especially when you don't even have anyone on San Fran. Doesn't even make sense. So we will go Lance with this team. We got the two San Fran players. The narrative is Purdy re-injures his arm. Lance stays QB7 on the season. No, I'm just kidding. He doesn't even have to do that well to make sense as the third QB. 20 picks after ADP. That's about where we're comfortable because he's a common faller. So the other advantage to drafting this early is you get to see the trends. If you just came in here and this is your first day, good on you for watching someone draft and actually be able to give you this information. But Lance is rarely going at his ADP in sharper rooms. I've seen him a lot in the 17th, 16th, back of the 16th, 17th. So, and he's correlated, which, you don't need with a Russian QB, but I think it helps. I think it raises the ceiling a little bit. We have 2 picks left, which at least one has to be spent at running back. We have CMC, anchor running back build, hero running back build, whatever you want to call it, with Rashad White, Khalil Herbert, and Jeff Wilson. Let's go. Appreciate you guys. Almost getting us to 20. Who's gonna be the one to get us to 20? Get us over the hill. Eric B says he likes Stroud. How do you like my Houston stack? 3,800 passing yards. I love it. Hey, if you have projections like that and you can really hit on one of those, that's nice. Does Zeke make sense here? I'm not drafting Zeke, right? But when we talk 36 picks, where are we hoping Zeke lands, right? Where are we hoping he lands? Cincy? Man, it feels bad. It feels bad. I'm going upside. I already have enough players that can provide me weekly floors. Give me someone that could potentially be a ceiling play. I'm willing to take a 0 on it because honestly, Zeke could be a 0 too. Look at this. No one wants Zeke. No one wants Zeke. I would take Lenny before Zeke, in my opinion. I think there's a better chance Lenny works out a role on a team. Zeke, if he lands on the right team, like where do you want him to land first? And basically, he's just has the role inside the red zone, sort of like a Jamal Williams. But we don't have that information yet. So Zeke following the OC to the Chargers. Possible. That's possible. And that would be a pretty decent spot for him. Where would we place Zeke, right? If that happens. Let's go back and look. I'd place him over Gus Edwards, but Gus Edwards, his ADP isn't 185 either, right? Gus Edwards is 198. Zeke goes at 161. Chase Brown, I think he can be a potential riser. I like Tank Bigsby as well over Zeke. These two players both over Zeke. Give me the unknown. Jeff Wilson, I mean, he looked good last year, and they gave him a sizable role. You have A-Chain coming in, potentially taking down the third down role. We'll see what happens with that. Chuba Hubbard went way too early here, but Jalen Warren. Yeah, so where are you putting Zeke? Are you putting him ahead of Tyler Algier? I don't know. I think Tyler Algier has more upside if Bijan goes down in a run-first offense. They ran the most times at any team. So you put Zeke after Tank. So is he a riser? That's my question. Like, he goes at 161 on average. Is he a riser if he hits his ceiling of landing spots? So we're assuming all the risk before we have to, in my opinion. Let's get the positive news for him first, and then that's just the way I feel about it. I can always draft him later. And where we were doing so many drafts, this is like our portfolio, our stocks portfolio, the whole off season. So we're buying in on players at different points. Kareem Hunt. Nope. Nope. You're not doing that to me. Let's see what Variant does here. This dude needs a wide receiver so bad. His first receiver is Keenan Allen. So everyone thank Variant for donating $5 to the Pounders in today's live stream. Thank you, Variant. Very, very kind of you. Jerome Ford. Now, this is a spot where Cleveland, I worry that they bring in like a Lenny for third down work. I'm between these two. I think the more upside is probably going to be with Jerome Ford here. We also don't have Chubb on this team. I'm not drafting him on the Chubb teams, to be honest, because Chubb's going to have the majority of that workload. We also pair him with Njoku, so I think that's cool. James Robinson goes right after. Trey McBride at 214. Wow, I'd gamble on Hunt before Zeke. Interesting. I have week 15, 16, 17 stacks through my teams. Love that. I'm really only focusing on week 17, but if you can get some sort of triple correlation, that works. Yeah, I go for 40. Yeah, I'm sprinkling him in. I'm sprinkling him in as well. I think Clyde might be a steal. They didn't. We'll see. They didn't pick up his option, so we'll see. McKinnon also got re-signed to a 1-year deal. So I think when you're drafting CEH, you're really hoping that he gets released or traded. So Tyler Conklin goes here at 208. I like this. These seem like good values for 18th round tight end if you're waiting. Those seem like good values to me. Let's pull out and let's see. Don't make a sick comment. Let's see the drafts from the Pounders here. So this one, we stop at Njoku and Freiermuth. That is going to be like my cutoff point for stopping at 2 tight ends. I do think right after Njoku, there is a tier break off in between Njoku and Freiermuth. And I think Schultz goes right after that. QBs, Danny Dimes, Pickett, Trey Lance, CMC, White, Khalil Herbert, Jeff Wilson, Dwayne McBride, Ford, Olave, Debo, Christian Watson, DJ Moore, Mike Evans, Hyatt for correlation, Michael Gallup. People thought I was crazy when I was drafting a ton of Gallup in the Superflex, ended up with like 30%. But try again, Trump. Believe he's in the live stream. Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Love. I'm fine with those two. Pitts, Gesicki, and Cade Otton. Looks good to me. even though they're not all my guys. I like Pitts this year, though, at his ADP. Henry, Cook, Javonte Williams, A.J. Dillon, Devon A-Chain, and Singletary. 17 picks for ADP. Got A-Chain at a little value there. 11 picks. Got to like that. The Cook pick was like a little mind-blowing. Chase Smith, Judy, Juju, Marvin Mims, Reed. It's okay. It's okay. I don't like reaching that much. And you collector, Rodgers and Russ. Interesting. So really hoping for a bounce back year for Rodgers and for Russ, realistically. Goddard, Waller, Dolchich. I don't think you have to add on Dolchich here, but you did it for the correlation, so I get it. Chubb, Stevenson, Harris, Chuba, Lenny, and James Robinson. I think this group's good. I like this group a lot, with these two being pretty good values, in my opinion. You start off with Cup. You get Hopkins, Christian Kirk, Bateman, Alan Lazard, Van Jeffy. I like these guys. You also correlate in this with Rodgers. So I think it's a nice team. It's going to depend on if these guys can not be dust this season. So that's cool. Good bet to make. Every now and then you have to do it. Joe Burrow and Derek Carr. At least like the rest of your team is strong. Like you're strong at running back, you're strong at receiver, and you're strong at tight end. I'm okay if your team is just meh at one spot. If you're meh at 2 spots or 3 spots, you probably paid the rake. Ace, Hold'em, Geno Smith, CJ Stroud, got Dobbins, Pierce, Zach Charbonnet, Mostert, Tank Bigsby, Israel Abanikanda, and Eric Gray. So 4 rookies on this squad. You got Pierce and Dobbins, who were NFL draft day winners for sure. Geno and Stroud might be a little thin, in my opinion, at QB. 30 picks before ADP at the QB. I'm not typically doing that. Hawkinson and Schultz. I think this is a good pairing. You also got the correlation there. And then AJ Brown, Waddle, DK, Treylon Burks, Zay Jones, John Mechie, and Nathaniel Dallas. You got a nice little triple there with Houston. I think if you pick a running back here, maybe at 150, or maybe the running back group was probably pretty dusty at that point at 150. But 30 picks, you pretty much guaranteeing yourself that you can get CJ Stroud on the next pick, I would think. Where's your next pick? 162 even? So I like to try to push it, right? Because other teams are getting these players at a value sometimes. So if you're reaching several rounds, you're giving yourself a disadvantage at value at ADP versus those other teams. Now, you're drafting against 111, almost 112,000 other teams. I like to just try to push it. But again, that's risk management, risk tolerance as well. Joe Burrow and Derek Carr for Van Falcons. I like those two. Kelsey and Smith, I think that's fine. You also get the week 17 correlation. I see some more week 17 correlation in here. So Breece Hall at 32, Joe Mixon, David Montgomery, Algier, Gus Edwards, and Pierre Strong. I'm fine with this group. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Pickens, Tony, Michael Thomas, Tyler Boyd, Rashee Rice, DPJ, and Chase Claypool. I'm fine with this group. You definitely needed 8. And you're strong at tight end. Could be strong at running back. It'll definitely depend on Breece Hall's health, and strong at QB and receiver. So receivers, okay. You definitely need those weekly guys to spike, but you're going for that week 17 correlation game. So that's nice. Real nice. Ben with the wrench, put that thing away. Lamar Jackson, Justin Fields, Tua. Definitely don't need Tua here, in my opinion. When you're spending this much at QB, I'm fully expecting you to be weak in 2 spots. And I'm seeing 1 tight end. So this better be a top 3 guy. Oh my. I think Ben was on auto pick. We'll have to get some confirmation here, but I think Ben might have been busy at work and he went on auto. Fine with the running backs. Fine with the receivers. But Conklin. Something happened there with Ben. Mike Ray, I think he's in the live stream. Herbert and Deshaun Watson. I like that pairing, but 13, 14 picks above ADP. Ahead of ADP, I mean. Knox, Taysom Hill, and Everett. I like the 3. Also paired that with Herbert. Herbert pairing. You got McKinnon, Antonio Gibson, Tajay, CEH. Cool with that. I don't know how much of this I'm doing, but if you get a Pacheco injury, maybe CEH does become something. Adams, Mike Williams, JSN, Tyler Lockett, Quinn Johnston, Jacoby Myers. I'm cool with this group. I like this 40 picks after ADP. He could play the last 5 games, and you are so happy because Wandale probably goes in, and he's what? Wide receiver 2 over there? Wide receiver 1? Yeah, I like Wandale, especially if he drops, especially in tournaments. In cash games, you expect him to start slow, maybe with the knee injury, and maybe he's not the best value there. But for tournaments, yeah, let's get him when he falls. Jared Goff, Kyler Murray, and Staffy. I'm cool with these 3 for ER7. I like these 3 tight ends. Yeah, you get Kyler 20 picks after. You get Staffy 20 picks after. That's nice. Taylor, Gibbs, Miles Sanders, Elijah Mitchell, and Kendra. I love this 5, dude. I'm really liking this team so far. Garrett Wilson, Ridley, Ayuk, Gabe Davis, Jameson Williams, Rondell Moore, Marvin Jones. So you do bring in Marvin Jones, who should slide into that Jameson Williams role for those first 6 weeks. So I like this squad a lot. Really, really well balanced, dude. Really well balanced. And let's pull in this draft. See how we're doing. 21 likes. Let's see if we can get to 25 before we're done. That's the goal. That's the goal in the live stream. 2-5. Off the Schneed. I think Mike Ray's on the live stream. Deshaun Watson and Goof over here in this team. Schultz, Knox, and Everett. I like those 3. Eckler, Henry, Jacobs, really strong at running backs. I'm expecting wide receivers to be a little weak, but you do have 8. So I think that's more. Pittman, Pickens, Deontay Johnson, Jameson Williams, DP. Yeah, I like this. I especially like the Jameson Williams pick with this team comp because it gives you some upside, right? Your first receiver was DJ Moore. So you don't get any of those top 8 guys, top 10 guys at receiver. So you pick someone that is suspended and should come back and provide a value after week 6, right? He was going around pick 60 before the suspension. So I like that with this team comp, especially. It's like one of those team comps where it's like, okay, I'm going to make a bet that this guy has a good season, or like the Jameson, like Michael Thomas, right? I'll take a risk on Michael Thomas with this team comp because I need him to provide wide receiver 2 numbers because I'm weaker at the position. I think that makes a ton of sense. Sean Z with the Tua double. I already love this team. Trevor and Tua, Andrews and Ingram, beautiful. Dobbins, Harris, Mostert, Spears, Kareem Hunt, and Pierre Strong. So definitely weak at running back, but you do get a value at J.K. Dobbins, 11 picks after. I like the Damian Harris pick, little touchdown upside here, and then just 4 dudes. 4 dudes. Hill and Waddle, Kirk, Brown, Zay Jones, DJ Chark, Romeo Dobbs, Khalil Shakur. Do we need that last pick to be Khalil Shakur, or would we rather that be a running back? I think it's a toss-up. If you can hit it running back here, I think you have higher upside with hitting it running back and just making that bet and picking the receiver. GDE in the live stream. Justin Fields, Aaron Rodgers, and Staffy. I'm cool with these 3. Also get a Rodgers discount of 18 picks. You get a Staffy discount of 51 picks. Yard sale. Greg Dulcich, Tyler Higbee, and Conklin. You even got some correlation there with both tight ends. Beaut. Stevenson, Jones, Cam Akers, Alvin Kamara, and Jeff Wilson. See, this is an Alvin Kamara build that I actually like. You are planning for the suspension, right? You have 3 guys that can carry your team even if Kamara is suspended. There's no bye weeks in those first weeks as well, so maybe Kamara gets off with like a 6-game suspension and then Jeff Wilson at 174. But you get him 17 picks after 2. I'm not picking Kamara unless I have like 3 running backs like this. I'll pick him as my 4th RB. I think that's really smart. Kupp, Wilson, Tony, MT, Elijah Moore, Wandale, and John Mechie. I like this group. Ace Hold'em in this group as well. Pick 8, Mahomes and Sam Howell, Kelsey and Michael Mayer. I'm fine with those. Gibbs, Mixon, Connor, P. Ryan, Jerick McKinnon, Chase Brown. I like this group. You also got the Cincinnati KC correlation. Jerry Jeudy, JSN, Jahan Dotson, Jacoby Myers, Jalen Hyatt, Curtis Samuel, Richie James, and Diami Brown. Cool. It's a good team. Paul's squad in the 9 spot. Lamar Jackson, Jordan Love, 16 picks after. Darren Waller and Komet. I'm cool with stopping at those two. Bijan, and then his next RB was Charbonnet, Penny, Donta Foreman, Chuba, and Mike Davis. I love it. Zach Charbonnet. So Penny, I definitely like Penny in this range too, right? He's like the home run swing. He's either going to hit a home run or he's going to get hurt by week 4. And then Swift is the value there. But going in this range, I think it's still worth the risk reward. It's just, he's so efficient with each carry. So if he can stay healthy, I think he smashes, especially in Philly. Amon-Ra, Christian Watson, Chris Godwin, Jordan Addison, Zay Flowers, Odell Beckham, Tyquan Thornton. So you're really bringing in that Baltimore correlation. And Allen Robinson at the end with Tyquan. Yeah, I think you needed 8 receivers here. But you do have Chris Godwin that's going to provide a floor for this team to let these rookies catch up. So I think that makes a lot of sense. Heart rates in the 11th spot. Richardson, Kyler Murray, and Jimmy. I'm cool with these 3. This is 43 picks after. I'm cool with that. I'm never drafting Kyler here at 136. He's a common faller. So give me him at a value. It doesn't have to be 43 picks after, but that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Chiggy, Jelani Woods, and Zach Ertz. I'm fine with these 3. Najee, you bring in Damian Pierce, Dalvin Cook, AJ Dillon, Brian Robinson. I'm cool with this 5. I'm cool with this. Look at this, 20 picks after. This is what I'm talking about. Someone picked Dalvin Cook at 50, right? You just saw him go at 86. That is 3 full rounds of value. This is why you can't reach like significantly. I'm not reaching over a round typically on any player unless we're talking about those late round guys that I think are going to rise and are worth higher than their amount that I'm reaching. That's really the only time I'm making those reaches. But early reaches like this where ADPs, I mean, Dalvin Cook at 86, this is awesome. It's a good example though. A really good example when he goes at 50 in one board and then goes at 86 in the other. Just shows you. Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams, Calvin Ridley, Ayuk, Alec Pierce. Yeah, I like this group. I like this group a lot. It's a nice team. Rand Stand in the 12 spot, Dak and Bryce Young. Bryce Young goes 20 picks after. Cool with that. Might be a little light at tight end, but we'll see. Juwan Johnson, Sam Laporta, and Schoonmaker. Definitely a little weaker at tight end than I want to be, so I'm expecting these rooms to be strong. Pollard, Etienne, Sanders, Devon A-Chain, Leonard Fournette. Good group. Good group. CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper. Is this the team that you... Okay, this makes sense. This is the team that you pulled Tony Pollard to the 13 spot. So you did try to do this, and you end up getting Dak basically at ADP, which is nice. And then you bring in Schoonmaker, hoping him to be the dude, which is cool. Amari Cooper, Mike Evans, Quentin Johnson, Alan Lazard, Thielen, Michael Gallup, and Marvin Jones. Definitely cool with this group. I think you're might be a little light at QB, but you're making a bet that Prescott has a good season and Bryce Young catches up rather quickly. But you got him 20 picks after too, so that's nice. And then the tight end group might be a little weak. It'll depend on probably Schoonmaker and Sam Laporta. But guys, I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. If you haven't already, drop a like on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Smash the bell for notifications so you can jump in these live drafts with us. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Pounders.